Guess what day it is? Today is June 11th, and that means that the new Ali Hazelwood book just came out. It's called Not in Love. It came out today and I am so excited. I already have it on my Kindle waiting for me, and I have just been waiting. Have not picked it up. I don't even know the synopsis of it. I know that it's one of her regular like STEM novels, so I'm excited about that, but other than that, I don't know anything. And I think that it's kind of spicier than like her usual books, which I don't mind at all. I do not mind at all. Also, I thought that it would be nice to give you like a backstory with me and Ali Hazelwood books, because as you can see from the title, this is one of my most anticipated release of the year. I have some other ones too. One of them is coming out next month, July, which I am so excited about. The first book that I read from Ali Hazelwood was The Love Hypothesis, and I read this, I want to say 2021. Okay, so the first time that I read this was January 10th, 2022, which is 2 years ago, which is crazy to me. And I have actually reread this, like, I want to say twice since then. I give this book 5 stars. It's one of the first books that really got me into reading. And I fell in love with the writing. I fell in love with the characters. I love everything about this book. Then I read Love on the Brain on September 19th, 2022. And I did really love the writing again. I didn't love it as much as The Love Hypothesis, but I still really had a lot of fun with it. And then in the beginning of this year, I read these 3 books, which all were released in 2023. I read all of them in a reading vlog. I have that up on my channel. So I read Check and Mate, I read Love Theoretically, and Loath to Love You, which is a novella bind up. And again, I remembered why I love Ali Hazelwood so much and I love her writing. I have not read Bride yet, which was released, I want to say February of 2024. And the only reason why is because it's Omegaverse and I'm scared. I don't think that I have read anything that is Omegaverse, so I'm kind of scared to pick that one up. I will read it eventually, but I think I'm gonna wait for full time. That seems right in my brain. If I had to rank them, I would say that Love Theoretically is my favorite, with a close second of The Love Hypothesis. Then it's Check and Mate, then Love on the Brain, and then Loath to Love You. Loath to Love You is my least favorite book, so I'm curious to see how I'm gonna feel about the new book. I truly believe that it could be like a 5 star. So yeah, it's time to read Not in Love. It doesn't feel real. It does not feel real. It's a bit later. I have read 70 something pages. I am like 18% through the book, and I don't know how I feel. This is the first book that Ali Hazelwood writes like dual perspective, so we get like full chapters on like Eli's point of view, but I don't know how I feel about them. I don't know if it's just in my head, but I feel like we have been getting more chapters from Eli's point of view than we have been getting from Rue's point of view. And I don't know, that just seems kind of weird to me. And yeah, I am 18% through the book and nothing has happened. Obviously, things have happened, but it's just, I mean, nothing that will be crazy or just, I don't know, I feel like the characters have not even spent that much time together. And we are like 1/5 of the book in, so I'm kind of like, we should have gotten into the story a bit more. I am worried, I'm gonna be honest. I am really worried because the thing is, I don't have an issue with the characters. For example, with his chapters, while I was reading them, I was like giggling. I was like, oh my god, I love that. But for some reason, I'm not like, oh, I want to keep reading. I want to keep reading. She has like an author's note in the beginning of the book, and she's like, oh, this is kind of like a more serious book, I guess. It has like more serious topics, and I feel like we have just like grazed those topics, so obviously we're gonna be talking about them more. At least that's what I'm guessing, like from the author's note. We have already had like 70 something pages and nothing has happened. Nothing. I don't even think that we are in the main plot of the story yet. I genuinely don't think that we are in the main plot of the story yet. I'm worried that it's gonna take so long until we reach the point where we're learning all of the stuff that we are being hinted towards. I really don't know. So far, I don't have any strong emotions towards it. You know, like the first 20% of the book, we are like, I don't know, this might be a really good book, this might be a really bad book, I genuinely don't know. That's how I'm feeling right now. That's that. Also, I feel like we don't know anything about the characters. So far, I feel like we're still in the phase where we're just learning the side characters, we're learning our main characters and their connection, and we're just starting the story. I feel like we should have already started it. We should already know the characters and just going into the story. That's what I'm thinking right now. That's how I'm feeling. I am hoping that it's just that we're gonna get more in depth, because I feel like we are very surface level of the book right now, and I don't love that. My least favorite part of a book is literally the beginning. Genuinely, every single time that I pick up a book, I hate starting it. I don't have the attention span to actually read a book, because in the beginning it is, I feel like I've said that in so many videos, but in the beginning we have the more like get to know the characters, get to know the like their friends, their side characters and all that, and that's boring. I know that it's important and we need it for the rest of the story. I get that, but I'm bored. Also, something else. We meet new characters in this one, obviously, but I'm kind of curious to see if we're gonna see them in other books, because I feel like with how she's talking about them, we could easily have books about them. But yeah, so far we have met some characters and I'm like, I'm curious about them. I want to know their story. But yeah, I'm gonna keep reading and I'm hoping that we're just gonna get more into the story. That's all that I'm asking for. I really want to see them spending more time together, because all of the scenes that we have gotten of them being together, like talking, being in the same space, in the same room, they have been so fun, and those are like my favorite moments. I am confused, and why do I low-key want to cry? We just had the first spicy scene and I want to cry. Oh, I don't want to cry because the spicy scene was bad. No, it was because what happened after the spicy scene, and we are like 37% through the book. I honestly don't know how I feel. 10 minutes ago, I was literally thinking, oh, this is not my favorite. I don't like it that much. And now I'm like, do I? I am so confused with this book. I think that it's going to be one of the books that you finish it and then you just need to sit with it for a bit. And I don't know how we're going to fix it, because I am heartbroken. And how are we 37% through the book and I am heartbroken? Something that I am liking is that he is a simp. He is obsessed with her. He just, I love that. He's down bad, crying at the gym, and I love that. I truly do. And she's kind of like, oh, I don't want anything to do with you, which is also something that I love. You know, when he is the one that is down bad and she's the one that is like guarded and kind of like, no, I'm okay, I don't need you. I don't know how much more I'm gonna read. It's midnight right now, so yeah, I would have liked if I had read like 50% of it, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen. Actually, let me see how many hours I have in the book. It says that I have like 6 hours left. I have read like 140 pages and I have 6 hours left. That's a lot. Am I reading it slowly? I'm reading this slow, at least slower than what I usually read. Oh, also something else that I just remembered. I feel like we don't know the characters necessarily. What I mean by that is, especially with Rue, also that name, it's not working for me, because isn't there like a sound on TikTok that is like, I don't know, I think that is from Euphoria. I have not watched Euphoria, but I'm pretty sure that it was like a popular sound on TikTok. I want to say like a year ago maybe. I don't remember how it goes, but I think it's like, you did this? I don't know exactly, but every single time that I read her name, I'm like, because he says it quite a bit. He's like, Rue. And every single time I have that sound in my mind, and as you can see, I don't even remember the sound exactly, but I have like kind of the tone that the sound says the name. So that's that. What was I saying? But yeah, we don't really know her as a character. I feel like she doesn't feel like a fully fleshed out character. I guess that's what I'm saying. And it's kind of hard for me to understand it, because I have never had like an issue with other Ali Hazelwood characters. They have always been like very realistic. Can you see my comforter on the back? Oh, I did not see that. Yeah, that's my comforter. It's extremely hot, so I don't even want to have it on my bed. So I literally just stuffed it there. Eventually I am gonna wash it and put it in storage, but for now it's just sitting there. Yeah, sorry about that. And also, if you're wondering about the chair and the blankets, on the back of the chair I have a rope covering the chair, obviously the fabric. The bottom cushion I have a Cinderella blanket, and on top of it I have a pillow. The reason why it's like that, I don't know if you can tell, but my cat is sleeping on it. But the reason why I have all of that is because she just likes to do her nails on it and I cannot get her to stop. So I have put like protection on it. So yeah, I'm sorry you can see like the chaos behind me. I did not realize it, but there you go. This clip is all over the place. I'm sorry. What I was saying again is that I have never had like this issue with like an Ali Hazelwood character. I feel like she always does a great job of creating these characters that feel like real people and that they have different characteristics. Whereas with Rue, I don't really see it. And even with Eli, I feel like we don't really see their personal lives of their everyday lives, and I think that that's kind of why they don't feel very realistic. Like, it feels like every single scene has a reason for existing. You know when you read a book and you get like some, I guess, kind of like mundane stuff, but you know when you get like those kind of little things, one of the characters will go out with family or will go out with friends, and it's just like you see them as actual, like an actual person that has life, where with this book we don't really see that. So they feel kind of like puppets that are just here for like the story. There's nothing else to them. I don't feel attached to them. Me in the beginning of the clip just being ready to cry and saying that I'm heartbroken, and now saying that I don't feel that attached to them. I really don't know. I think that it's just, this is the Ali Hazelwood writing that I love. It's just I don't feel connected to the characters. So I do get emotional by the writing, but I don't care about the actual character. I don't know if that made any sense. I have been talking for like 15 minutes. Hopefully editing me can somewhat make this clip make sense. I'm hoping. I ended up reading until like chapter 21, so I am like 54% through the book. And last night as I was reading, I realized one thing. This is kind of like Love on the Brain. I feel like if you have read every single Ali Hazelwood book, you will understand what I'm talking about. But Love Theoretically is kind of the same vibes as The Love Hypothesis, and I feel like this book is the same vibes as Love on the Brain. I don't know, just the vibes that the characters are giving me, I feel like they're very kind of like similar. So I feel like if you liked Love on the Brain, you will like Not in Love, and kind of like the same goes with if you like The Love Hypothesis, you will like Love Theoretically. Right now I'm thinking that it's gonna be like kind of like a 4 point something. It's not looking like a 5-star, which is kind of sad. I really hope that it would be like a 5-star, but that's okay. It's still an enjoyable book. I feel like it's a tiny bit slower than what I want to. And I do like slow burns, but I like slow burns where the characters actually spend time together, and I feel like in this book we're just now getting them spending time together. So that's what I mean by saying slow. It's not that it's just like a slow burn. And also, this book is very spicy. This is definitely like the spiciest book that I have read from Ali Hazelwood. She does say in the beginning of the book that, you know, this is very spicy, like a fair warning, I guess. With that, she doesn't mean that it's like, oh, instead of like one spicy scene, we have 2 spicy scenes. No, we have more than 2. And at the same time, they have more detail and they're more spice in them, I guess. So I just wanted to say that because I know that some people just don't like spice and don't want to read that, so maybe don't pick up this book if you don't like to read about spice. Personally, I don't really have an issue with it, but yeah, I just wanted to let you know that. And we're finally picking up, but I feel like the book should not be picking up at like 50%. At 50% we should already have picked up. Like, I feel like in 20%, 30% even is when like the book should start picking up, and then at 50% we should be like kind of like deep into the story. There are some things that are happening that are being like hinted at that I feel like could make this book either really, really bad or really, really good, depending on how they are done, like they are written in the story. For example, something that I don't usually like in books is when pretty much every single character knows something that will affect our female main character, but nobody tells her. And we have gotten so many hints of somebody going to tell her, like being ready to tell her, but then they get interrupted all of a sudden. Like, I feel like that has happened at least 3 times. I'm thinking like around 5 times. It's actually very frustrating, you know, when you're like, oh, because we don't know what is happening. So I just get frustrated because I want to know what is happening. Just like having so many characters being ready to say it and then just not saying it, it's annoying. I would prefer if I didn't know it and then in the end of the book it was kind of like a reveal, or if it was in a more subtle way, the author made you be like, oh, I feel like something is going on there, but I don't know what. But just having characters being ready to tell her and then all of them stop. Like it's annoying at this point. It's really annoying. And the thing is, I don't really mind if the other characters don't tell her because I don't have like a relationship with her. But when our male main character does not tell her, I'm like, why? I know that it's gonna be like a hard thing to do and it might not be your place, but it is something that affects her. So I'm like, why let her be blind? So yeah, I'm having an issue with that and I'm hoping that it's gonna get resolved, but I'm thinking that it's not and that it's going to be kind of like the third act breakup situation. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna read a bit more. Well, honestly, I'm gonna try and finish it, to be honest, and see how it is, because at this point, I just want to know how I will feel by the end of it. My thoughts, my feelings are all over the place, so I have no clue. I might hate this book by the end of it. I might love this book by the end of it. I genuinely just don't know. It's a couple of days later. I just needed to sit down with my thoughts and understand what I want to write this book. Sadly, I don't think that it's going to be anything above 4 stars. I was thinking about it and originally I was like, oh, maybe it's like a 4-star. It's not. The more that I sat with it, I was like, 3.5 feels right. And I'm really sad that I didn't love it as much as I wanted to. We have this whole thing of this book being deeper than the rest of Ali Hazelwood books. And I get that. It is a bit deeper, but I wanted to go more in depth with those things. I feel like we were on the surface level of it. Like we just dipped our toes into the deeper topics and I wanted to go like full deep in them. So that was kind of disappointing. And I don't know if it's just me and the fact that I read dark romances. I have read a bunch of dark romances. So I was expecting kind of like that level of darkness. And even with contemporary romances, I feel like the majority of books just go deeper than this. So it felt very surface level. And then at the same time, I feel like a lot of things were missing. It felt very like half done, kind of like I was reading a draft. That's how it felt like. I didn't like how everyone knew about that one thing and our female main character did not know about it and we did not know about it. I was so frustrated about that. If we knew it, maybe it would have been better, but I don't know, something about that whole plot of the book I did not love. And then even with like the resolution of the whole plot at the end, I don't know if I was happy about that, you know. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. The fact that I was more interested in 2 side characters than I was our main 2 characters, I feel like that's telling. I don't know, just this whole book left me wanting more, and not in a good way where you're like just obsessed with the characters so you just want to keep reading about them. No, it was more so it had potential, but it just did not reach it because the plot was good. The bones of the plot were really, really good. It really needed more. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I have officially decided that it's gonna be a 3.5 stars, which is not bad, but it's not as good as the other books that I have read by Ali Hazelwood. I hate to say it, but it was kind of disappointing. I haven't looked into reviews. I have seen just like, you know, from putting it on my Goodreads and stuff, kind of like the top reviews of people that I follow and that I'm friends with. And I feel like the majority of them are giving it like kind of like a mid rating, like around 3 stars. So yeah, I guess I agree with that. So yeah, that's all I had to say. Let me know if you have read this book and if you liked it and what did you like about it, because maybe something that I said that I did not like, it was what made you fall in love with a book. I'm very, very curious about it because reading is so just subjective, I think. Yeah, okay. So every single person can have a different experience with it, and that's honestly one of the best things about it. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. I hope that you liked this video, and I hope that I will see you in my next one.